Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. I left you for a moment, but I do have a very serious reason why I did that. I had to take time to improve my skills, and for that I came back to Gerardi Stone Setting School for the second time. I do have a vlog for the first time I was in the school, so you can check that out if you haven't seen it. I was so excited to come back and I saw that they have Badeco tools on the bench as well. I was very pumped to try it out. As you saw, I started with one stone setting and then we jumped straight away on a castle setting. Just to check how it's going because it wasn't the first time I'm in the school, I kind of knew what I was doing. But after hardly admitting that I haven't practiced at home basically in half a year, I was quite scared to come back to school in general because it felt I just lost all the knowledge I had before. And no, I wasn't slacking, but it takes a long time to buy everything, get in between the works that you're doing already. So I was thrilled to be in the school again, to actually make settings again. And I was way more relaxed. And I did understood that my brain actually, in that half a year, developed all the knowledge I had before, and all the settings that I was doing after felt way different. And this is how I finished my castle setting, which was the second castle setting I did in school, but it was needed to remember because the settings we did after that was involving a lot of steps that we made in the castle setting. And of course, we have to admire students' work. It's so inspiring to be surrounded by very talented and creative people to share the passion of creating jewelry. It's truly a beautiful experience. And all that information you're getting in the school, you're just trying to write everything down immediately you get it because it's quite a lot and it's quite specific that you have to be fast to put everything on the paper. As you saw, now we're starting to do a fishtail setting. We're beginning with the same first step that we had in a castle setting, and then we jump on actual fishtail itself, which is one of my favorite settings in general. And I wanted to try that even first time I came into school, but I got sick 2 times at that time. It was stressful. I couldn't achieve so many things I wanted to achieve. So this coming back was a must for me. Last time when I visited Rome, I went to lots of places. So this time I kept it quite chill, had beautiful evening walks. We had 40 degrees every day. It was a lot for me. Second week, I began with the same fishtail setting. Settings taking a long time because you test some cuts on different plates. For everybody, the setting will take different amount of time. I would say I'm on a slower side because I was watching students that finishing this work way quicker. But I did wanted to understand what I'm doing to perfect my cuts as well because I'm using this plate for an example for me. When you have a good angle, you can copy that on any work that you're doing, so it has to be the right angle. That's why it was so important for me to perfect the settings as much as I can, even if it's practicing plate. Even without polishing, the setting looked very well. Good polishing makes it look even better, and I was extremely proud of this one because I wanted to learn it for so long. It felt so good. I didn't even know that it was just the beginning. When your mind is so under that microscope, you do forget that so many people around you are working on some incredible jewelry pieces. Sometimes it kicks your ass as well because you see that someone is making maybe the same thing that you're doing and they're way faster. You're like, okay, come on, let's do it. And this is how we jump on another setting, which is a special castle setting. So it's basically the same as castle setting, just you have more view out of it and have special cuts to it that makes all of that design look so cool. Castle setting itself is very beautiful and simple design, but when you can accentuate it, it looks very cool. After fishtail setting, I was not sure about this one because I do have a preference on cuts. I do love those pointy ones more, and this one is very round. But after finishing the setting, I was very surprised how much I did loved it. I convinced myself with this play that I will do that on a ring for sure. Maybe on some earrings too. It would look so cool. Oh, and we do love those pointy prongs, very sharp ones. I truly took advantage of that big screen and actually record some student works as well, explanations, how to do certain tests. So, I wasn't looking just at my work all the time. And after good success with plates, I finally got the ring. I haven't mentioned how great the coffee was near the school, so my addiction got even worse. I got 4 cups a day. Just don't judge me. School is intense. And every Friday, we used to get graver lessons as well, how to make your own graver. It's a very important task. If you go to school, just listen. Just listen. And coming to weekend, you feel exhausted after so many hours working with Microscope. If you're 20 years old, maybe you can have a blast on a weekend as well, which so many students had, but I'm 35 years old. I'm not saying I'm old, but I do have so many responsibilities behind my back at this point that I can't not be tired. I just can't. But I was so thrilled to come back every Monday and just work on the piece I started the week before. It's so exciting when you can actually finish the piece that you're working for some time. It really takes a lot of time to perfect the pieces, and it's very big zoom. Those cuts are looking nice, okay? It's nice. After my simple piece, we have to look at students' work again, which is extremely nice. I'm not a fan of this type of jewelry, but to master and make it like this, it takes a big skill, really. Finally, I got the chance to put that fishtail setting on the ring. You know how excited I was to do that? I was thrilled, really. I even finished the setting way quicker than I did on the plate. Probably because it was the second time I'm doing the setting, so it makes sense that it's quicker. But on the ring, you get different curves, and all those angles actually starts to make sense because sometimes you can't even do the cut if the cut that you made before wasn't made right. Not even mentioning different gravers that you need for the piece. But it's all worth it. Just look at that. I'm extremely proud of this one. After this one, I started Irregular pave, which was mainly for understanding how to fill the space with stones when you're making different shapes. That was very useful, but it wasn't that exciting for sure because you're just making random pattern. But that knowledge was actually worth it. That week for me was a huge success, so I was happy. Last 2 weeks were very exciting for me because I started a special project. It took all of the skills that I had at this point to create the settings. As always, you have to start with casted ring and clean everything very well to prepare the ring for design and start to actually create settings. It always looks easier than it is. Even to create centered hole, it takes a lot of knowledge and practice. It's not that easy to actually have accuracy on a high level. And I had to show you that perfect cappuccino. I'm actually craving that at home now. And we're coming back under the microscope as always, where we finally started to work with gravers. Drilling is not my favorite part, so all the drilling that I have to do is like motivation and work for me until I get the pleasure to actually work with gravers because that's my favorite part. I love to cut lines and create all of those patterns. It's so great. This ring gives so much knowledge, and actually if you split that apart, you can use all of the small pieces to any jewelry piece. You don't need to use all of them, but like each and every one of them, it's quite special to put on a ring. I was truly appreciating every step of the ring. It looked so cool and sparkly even without a polish. and I finally started those decorative cuts, which I practiced on the plate with an example that Pier did on the piece. I was cutting one pattern, looking at it, cutting another pattern, looking at it, and finally, after 4 or 5 patterns, I started to get understanding how deep and wide I should go with the graver. That's why I told you that you have to have a great example how that pattern should be looking like, and according to that, it's way easier to cut those lines how it should be. And in general, when you're creating pieces like this, the guidance that you can get from the teacher, it's so important and it's way faster than trying to figure that out on your own. Even before starting the ring, I wasn't sure I'm capable to do that. I was just re-asking again if I can, especially those decorative cuts. I wasn't sure it's in my power to do that because I haven't done that before. But actually trying that out and finally putting that on the ring was something else. It was very special. In every step, the ring was getting better and better, and I couldn't not admire every step I did on that ring, because in those moments all of that made sense and it was a dream to make something like this. So it truly was a pinch me moment to be able to create something like this. Even those decorative cuts with extremely big zooming looks very nice. You actually get so much of new information with every piece that you are making. It's very hard to work on your own and teach yourself every single thing because this is all I was used to. I was kicking my own ass. I was cheering me up all the time. It was me doing that. I never had that experience that you would have with a great teacher. That teacher could give you that belief in yourself even though you have a doubt. So I'm truly thankful for this beautiful new skill. Now I feel that I have a great base and the courage to actually go for it and create pieces that I always wanted to create.